American University in Switzerland. So I'm here today to give you a bit of an insight into what we do as a university and some of the things that Switzerland can offer you as a student as well. So I'm going to talk to you a bit about studying in Switzerland, a bit about AUS and our programs, and give you an insight as to what some of our students have gone on to do, and give you some information about our application processes as well. So first off, to introduce what I do, I'm one of the global enrollment advisors at AUS. So I support international students through their application process right up until their enrollment onto our programs. So I'm in a good position to give you some insight today as to what we do, and hopefully answer maybe any questions that you might have, or you know, in the future, if you're considering Switzerland, support you in that application process. So to give you an insight into the American University in Switzerland, we originated as the American Graduate School of Business in 1991, and moved in an ever-changing environment, in an ever-changing business world, to where we are today. And last year in 2019, we rebranded as the American University in Switzerland, and quite fitting for us. We did that to fit with what we're trying to do in terms of giving students the keys to open the doors in terms of the industry that they want to go into. At AUS, we pride ourselves on combining that academic knowledge and giving the students the knowledge that they need to work in an industry, but also giving them that practical application that they can use to apply the theory into the industry world, and sort of complement that with the practical knowledge that they can gain. So we're really trying to give them the keys to open the doors to the successes that they can achieve in business. But before I go into what we offer and what we do, I think it's quite important that we talk about firstly where we're based. So we are located in Switzerland. As you can see, Switzerland on the left-hand map is located in the heart of Europe. So it's an excellent location for students who are, particularly international students, who are looking to maybe have an experience abroad and study abroad, in terms of being at the heart and the center of Europe, to travel and visit a diverse range of locations. Obviously, in sort of the current circumstances, that isn't possible. But when our students are studying with us, they have that opportunity to do so. And particularly in Switzerland, we're located in the French-speaking region near Lausanne. And we're located around 60 to 75 minutes from Geneva on the train. So it's very commutable to some of the bigger cities. And we're located in a very nice sort of area in Switzerland along the sort of Riviera as well. To give you some insight into Switzerland, there's 4 national languages. You know, a large proportion of people in Switzerland speak German, French, Italian, and there's also Romanish, which is sort of a smaller population. But there are, you know, lots of people from foreign languages who speak English. Portuguese is also a common foreign language as well. So, you know, people in Switzerland, it's a very diverse community, a very diverse country. And so, you know, of Switzerland, 24% are foreign nationals. So for international students coming over, it's a very good opportunity to maybe learn a new language, or to enhance their language skills in maybe English, for example. We give you some insight here into some of the things that Switzerland are well known for. Some of you may know in terms of watches, cheese, chocolate, and obviously the Swiss Army knife as well. But you know, Swiss innovation and Swiss excellency is known all around the world, and I'm sure that you guys are no different in knowing that as well. To give you some insight into, you know, studying in Switzerland, as I said, you know, you can travel freely throughout Europe. It's a very safe country, and in terms of education, Switzerland is extremely well known and highly regarded as a place for high quality education. Not just high quality academic education, but also high quality practical education, in terms of putting the knowledge and the skills that you're gaining inside a classroom, inside a learning environment, to practical use, and applying those to an industry, to a specialization. You know, we have some of the largest companies in the world based in Switzerland: Nestle, Tetra Pak, Philip Morris. You know, innovation and entrepreneurial spirit is a massive part of studying and living in Switzerland. And so it's no surprise that people come and study here with the fantastic views that you can see. There's some amazing locations that students can visit, some fantastic sports that they can take part in, from water sports to snow sports. It gives you an opportunity to explore a country that has real cultural diversity, real geographic diversity as well in terms of the locations. You have your large cities, but you also have your smaller rural areas, which are really intriguing to visit. And the heritage and the culture in Switzerland is a fantastic thing to experience alongside your academic studies. And something that's really interesting to know is obviously Switzerland as a study abroad location is ranked #2 in Europe. And it's also ranked #4 in the world as well. So it's a location that students really, they want to come and study in Switzerland. You can see some of the statistics here, being #3 in the world to develop yourself individually and personally, and also #5 in Europe to have an adventure. And I think that's one of the key things for students coming to study in Switzerland, is that it is a real adventure for you, not just academically, but also you personally as well, to experience some of the locations, to experience some of the culture whilst you're studying here. It's a real beautiful experience for our students to come and study in Switzerland. And so then we come to the American University in Switzerland. So like I said, we are based in La Tour de Paix, which is in the French-speaking region. And our students have a fantastic campus location, which is situated, a sort of stone's throw walk from the lake. It's situated in a really nice area where you can see the mountains. It's very picturesque and very beautiful. And our students have access to a high quality learning environment in that space. So you can see some of the images of our campus here. Our classroom sizes are typically between 20 to 24 students. We're a very small institution in terms of our classroom size, and we pride ourselves on our personalized learning. And I'll touch upon that in a moment. We have a very close-knit community. Our students they all know each other quite well, alongside the academic and administration staff as well. And we try and provide our students with an environment that is innovative, it's interactive, it gives them the opportunity to engage, and they learn, they disagree, they discuss, and they hopefully grow as individuals in that academic environment, but also personally as well. And we provide them with that environment situated between Montreux and Vevey, two fantastic places for students to visit, some fantastic things that happen in those areas. Our campus gives them a real Swiss experience, living in and around a small area, and then they have the opportunity to go and visit some of the larger cities and some of the opportunities and places in Switzerland. It's a place where learning in the classroom is of high quality, and the experience outside of the classroom is of high quality as well. And we give our students that experience in the classroom so that they can learn in a small environment, and they get that one-to-one learning time within their teaching and within their academic experience. They get to speak to our academics on a regular basis, and they get to talk to each other as well. There's quite an overwhelming experience going to university. You're used to a class size in high school, which is maybe maximum 30, and then some universities you go to and you have 100+ students in a lecture or in a class size, and it can be an overwhelming and daunting experience for students. And so to have that personalized learning, to have that mentoring and guidance from our academics in the classroom, our students really benefit from that experience, and it gives them the opportunity to ask questions, be inquisitive, they get to be curious, and they get to express themselves in an environment that it gives them the opportunity to do that. And it's something that we really pride ourselves on. And how we teach as well, and it's a really important model for our students of how we teach. We don't just want to give them the academic knowledge and they go away and sort of use that as they want to. We want to make sure that they're guided in their learning. So we want to ensure that they have that understanding of what their passions are. We want them to discover their passion. We want to find what they enjoy. We want to help them develop the soft skills and the skills that they need to work in an ever-changing business environment. And we provide them with that mentoring from a professor and from our staff that gives them that opportunity to get that advice, to get that guidance, and for them to have the freedom to explore their opportunities, to explore what they want to go into. At this stage, you probably aren't aware of what you're wanting to do as a career long term. And so at our university, to give you that opportunity, we provide that mentoring and that guidance so that you can learn and have as many opportunities as you want. And I think that comes into the practical experience. So obviously, as a university, we're teaching the academic knowledge and the theory base that you need, but what we then do is we complement that very well with internships. So every student has to do an internship, and through that internship or multiple internships, it then gives them the chance to put that practical spin on the knowledge that they've learned, and it gives them a chance to put that theory into practice. And it might be in an industry that they want to go into, but it also might be in an industry that they're not really sure if they're passionate about, or they're not sure if they want to try it, but they have the opportunity to try, and if they're not too keen on it, then they have the opportunity to do something else, and we give them that freedom to make the choices. And like I said, we give our students the keys to open the doors, and if it's not the right door for them, then we give them the guidance to make sure that we can find the right door for them to walk through and really have a successful career and go on to do some really great things. And our professors are fantastic at doing that and giving them that guidance, giving them that mentoring, and giving them the opportunity to explore the topics in depth, to learn about not just the academic theory, but also about themselves as well, and to make sure that they have those key skills that are really important nowadays, alongside entrepreneurial skills, emotional intelligence, alongside obviously the key skills you need in business to grow these new skills that are coming through with the sort of technological advances and the new sort of businesses that are developing, to try and keep up to date with this skill set. And so we do that in our various programs. We have bachelor programs of 3 years, we have master degrees of 2 years, we have doctorate program, and we also have online degrees. And I'll go into some of the subjects that we offer in these programs. And obviously the bachelor and master and doctorate programs are available on campus, and then we have our online degrees as well, which obviously at this time is something that's really growing, and something that students are gaining keen interest, just because of the current situation globally. We don't want students to put that education on hold. We really want you to be able to take your opportunities and take your sort of destiny into your own hands and continue your learning. And so we offer an online degree as well. But we have different specializations at AUS. So our programs are business administration programs, international business administration, and then we have different specializations. And it's really important, I think, for students to have these different specializations and have the option to choose the industry that they might want to go into. The general business administration degree gives you that grounding in business. It gives you a grounding in the various elements of finance and marketing, entrepreneurship, all the key areas that you need to work within the business environment. But then you can then complement this, and this is where that practical learning comes in. So things like aviation management, cybersecurity management, fashion and design management, luxury management, entrepreneurship, hospitality management, and fintech management have been identified as real key areas, particularly in Switzerland as well. Some of these areas are fastly growing around the world, but in Switzerland they're flying ahead of anywhere else, particularly things like cybersecurity and financial technology. And so we're really giving our students the opportunity to go in depth into these areas and complement that business knowledge with the specific industry focused elements that they need to know to forge a career in those areas. So some of your modules in cybersecurity will be particularly around the practical elements of cybersecurity. Things in financial technology will be around blockchain, cryptocurrency, and things like that. So you'll really get an in-depth insight into the particular career elements of your chosen specialization. Students can choose a specialization, or they don't have to. They can just continue the general business track as well. And we see a lot of students do that option. And a lot of students also pick up entrepreneurship as well, which is, I think, a real key area in today's business environment, is that it's an ever-changing world, and entrepreneurship prepares you for that ever-changing and demanding environment. And you can learn the skills to thrive, and you can learn the skills to create your own idea and create your own business, and sort of work in any of the other specializations, but through an entrepreneurial channel. And it's really important for our students. And to give you an idea of what we offer at the various levels of our bachelor, master and doctorate levels, we offer all of our specializations at a bachelor level, and then we offer everything apart from our hospitality management program at a master level. And so it gives students the opportunity to come and study with us, and they have different academic terms throughout the year, and then during their program, like I said, they have to do an internship, at least one, and that gives them the opportunity to network with industry professionals in their chosen specialization or the general business environment, and it gives them the opportunity to put that theory into practice. And it gives them that chance to really understand what it's like to work in that environment. And for some students, it's a massive eye-opener, and it might sway them one way or another. And for some students, it really nails home that they want to work in that industry, and it gives them the opportunity to network with those professionals, to give them the opportunity to gain those contacts, to gain that insight into the industry, and keep in touch with those people, so that when they are finishing their program, then they have the opportunity to really network and use those contacts to their advantage. And so, all of these programs fall under our teaching model, and we have all of our programs with that practical element. Education today is fantastic education in the classroom, but if you know how to use the academic knowledge that you have outside of the classroom and in the industry environment, then you're really going to put yourself ahead of some of the other graduates out there. And I think we have every university has a slightly different approach to how they run their programs, and we're no different. We have an AUS difference. We have a Swiss education, a quality education, a Swiss quality education, with an American style. So our students have various modules that they can study. They have a list of some fantastic modules that they can go through, and we try and match up. You'll see on the screen things that we offer in terms of a faculty, classmates, the student support, and the flexibility and the freedom within that curriculum. And we try and make sure that within that environment, our students are learning these key skills in terms of problem solving, creativity, design thinking, having an open mind, having the drive and resilience to work in an ever-changing environment. And at AUS, we merge these elements together to give you that high quality global education. All of our topics are taught from a global standpoint, so that you are able to navigate what is becoming a more interconnected global world. We have the industry specializations which give you that real focus on your studies. Personalized teaching, like I said, within a class of no more than 24 means that you have the opportunity to have your voice heard, have your questions answered, have time to speak to the academics and clarify things, and be inquisitive and curious, and have that open discussion with your classmates. And in a classroom environment of where we have maybe 40 plus different nationalities on our campus, it is a really unique environment where you can learn from other people just by understanding the cultural differences. And as I say, the practical learning wraps all of that, where you can learn in the classroom, but then once you're out into the business world, into luxury management, into cybersecurity management, that practical learning really stands you in a good way, that you can understand what you've learned and then how you can apply it. And just to give you an example, these are some of our academics that we have in our university, but they're not just academics of the traditional sense of the word, where they're teaching all the time, but these are individuals who have worked in some of the biggest banks globally, some of the business corporations globally, and for some of the other institutions where they've worked and taught. And it gives you an idea of this is the level of academics that we have. It's not just about the academic teaching, but we want people to be teaching our students who have that experience in the business environment and can pass that on through mentoring and through guidance. And so we really pride ourselves on having academics who are in the professional world still and working at a high professional level to be able to give our students that insight into what it is really like day to day in the business environment. And so some really inspiring stories for our academics, and they can give our students some real value, some real added value to their program just through the experiences that they've had themselves in their career. And then I think it's massively important that all of this that we're talking about in terms of your degree program and what you study and practical education that you get is wrapped around a great sort of careers service. And so we have an international careers service department who can support you with, you know, applications for internships, applications for jobs, writing CVs and cover letters, and all the standard stuff that you need to do. But what they then go on to do is connect students to the industry, basically. So if a student is looking for an internship, or if they're looking for a post-graduation job role, then the networking element that they push is really important, and it's something that we really push our students to get out there and do, is to network in the industry. You know, your academic knowledge, your practical education and your degree will get you so far, but if you can network with the right people, if you can make the right connections and use platforms like LinkedIn, for example, to make those connections, that through internships, through networking events and through various other forums, then it really gives you that chance to be having that exposure to industry professionals and people who are going to be looking to hire the next set of people in their company for the various roles that they have in financial technology, cybersecurity, hospitality. And so all of our students are obviously, they have to do an internship, and they're available for all of our programs. And they can do that internship in Switzerland, where a lot of internships in Switzerland are paid, or they can choose to go and do that internship elsewhere globally, back where they're from, or in another country. And so our careers service team work with the students to make sure that we find the right opportunities available for them, the right things that they're going to be looking for, and to connect them with the right people, and whether that's industry professionals through our careers team, or even our global graduate community who offer some opportunities as well. And you know, like I said, it's an industry focused learning environment. And to sum up, you know, our professors are working and they provide you with that theory-based knowledge, which is really important, but they also then give you the opportunity to have that practical learning. And, you know, the experience that you get in the classroom, plus the experience that you get outside of the classroom, that's what's key to finding a job role after graduation. And that's what we try and prepare our students to do, is we link their academic learning with industry specializations, with industry collaboration, to make sure that they have a complemented academic learning experience. They're not just learning through the classroom, but they're learning by doing. And that's the most important thing for us, is that we focus on that industry focused learning to make sure that they are prepared for the industry that they're stepping into. And you know, obviously, you know, we have a great academic side to our institution, and we offer high quality education. But you know, I think as well, what's really important is that we have a really sort of vibrant student life at AUS as well. And having small class sizes and you know, being a real sort of close knit community is what AUS is all about for the students looking to study in an environment where you know, they're going to meet people from a diverse range of cultures, countries, nationalities, speaking different languages, learning different languages, experiencing different things. We really offer our students that sort of cultural community experience where they can integrate and network with their fellow peers, and they can, you know, have the experiences they may not have got studying in their own country, for example. And so we make sure that we put on lots of events and activities for our students, and our students run activities themselves so that they can showcase their own cultures, showcase their own experiences, and they can really sort of form a real close community opportunities in Switzerland, as I mentioned before, to go out and do outdoor activities, i.e. snowboarding, skiing, various water sports. There's a lot of festivals locally as well. And so we really try and encourage our students, and we help our students to build this community bond. And that's what's really important for us, is that our students feel like they're part of a community, that they're part of something that is really, really fantastic for them to be involved in. And they have the opportunity not just to grow academically and graduate with a fantastic education, but also to grow personally and learn new skills and learn new things about different countries and cultures and people that they never had heard of or known before. And so we give them the opportunity to do that outside of the classroom. So it's a real complementary experience for our students to have that cultural diversity and international and global community for them to be a part of here. And just to give you an idea of some of our accreditations and memberships, we're recognised by some of the private school federations in Switzerland and the Chamber of Commerce in Switzerland, which help us link to some of the industry partners that we have. And also our accreditations, we're not just recognised in Switzerland, but globally as well. So by the European Council for Business Education, so the European accreditation, and the International Accreditation Council for Business Education in the US as well. And one really key thing to touch upon is some of our programs are actually accredited through other organizations. So for example, our aviation management program at both a bachelor and master level is accredited, and we're an authorized training center, an IATA authorized training center. So for those of you who are interested in aviation management, that's a really key sort of accreditation for you to have, and it means that you have access to some IATA training courses. So it gives you those industry level courses to showcase to employers when you graduate that you've been involved in industry level qualification as well. We also have a range of partner universities and some of our programs. So for example, our business administration program, bachelor level, has a number of dual degrees with Tiffin University based in the United States, and our fashion design and management program. We also have a partnership with Ferrari Fashion School, which means that students get to do part of their studies in Milan for more of the design elements of the program. But it gives them that access to another level of industry speakers. And so these partnerships that we have and these dual degrees offer students that added value to their degree program, where they're gaining expertise from not just ourselves at AUS, but also from other higher education industry partners, or for example IATA, who are involved. They're leading in the industry of aviation, and so our students have access to those fantastic opportunities. And then obviously for our graduation, our students, we have over 3,000 graduates of 88 different nationalities plus. And so, since 1991, we've had some really fantastic graduates go on to work, not just in Switzerland, but also in various other countries as well. And it's that access to the industry that I think has helped our students to really carve out these careers for themselves, and the internship opportunities that gives them that unique experience at AUS. And it means that when they graduate, they become part of a global community of graduates. That is, it's a small membership for our alumni, but they really sort of add value into what they're doing, and they're doing some fantastic things. And some of the organizations that we see them going on to and going to work for, not just going to work for, but also organizations that they're starting themselves, using the entrepreneurial skills that they have gained through their program. It means that they can really sort of carve out a really successful career, and you'll recognize some of the organizations here, some of the some really well-known business organizations across the world. And so to get more into the admin side of things, we have 3 intakes a year at AUS, which allows students to start in September, January and April. And I think that's a really key thing at this moment in time, is that obviously, given the current situation, some of you may be considering when you want to start and when you want to go to university. And so we have obviously our September 2020 intake, and we still strongly encourage applications. If you're interested in studying, we strongly encourage applications for September 2020. But we also have January and April intakes as well. So if students who applied for September wanted to defer their studies to January, then that is a possibility, and that they can do that. And we obviously understand given the current circumstances, but we still encourage students for September 2020 to apply. Just to give you an idea of the application journey, it's very, very simple for us. Students request an application, they complete and submit. As in my role, I support the students in gathering those documents that they need. The admissions team will review and make a decision, and then the student would confirm their seat with us. And throughout all of those steps, you get the support from a global enrollment advisor who will help you with the application. They'll help you understand the various steps and stages. And then once your application, if you're accepted to AUS, you also have a dedicated visa team as well that will support you in terms of the visa application. And so there's support all throughout your application process. So it's not just during your studies that you get that personalized support, but it's also beforehand as well. And that's something we really pride ourselves and value for the students, the prospective students looking to study with us. And obviously, some key information: we do offer scholarships to students on a variety of different basis. So we have merit-based scholarships, demonstrating outstanding personal or professional achievements. We have need-based scholarships as well. So for anyone who demonstrates significant financial needs, and we also have academic bursaries as well for those who demonstrate exceptional academic performance in their studies. So we offer these to students, and these are assessed during the application stage. So the students accepted, they would receive their scholarship offer within their application as well. And so we make it really easy for students to understand the scholarships, and as I say, myself and my colleagues are here to help in terms of making sure that process is as simple and as easy as possible for students to understand and to go through. And obviously, like I say, given the current situation, it's a big decision to make in terms of higher education. But one thing I would say is that you shouldn't put your education on hold. There's a lot of opportunities now. Ourselves have developed online programs, and our on-campus programs are still going to hopefully run in September as well. And we're very confident that they will do. The situation here in Switzerland in particular is developing very well. Things have started to open, and so we're hoping that in the next few months we'll be able to welcome our September students on campus, and give them that experience on campus that they want. And if that isn't the case, then we will be continuing our online provision as well, to provide that high quality education online experience until the point that students can return to campus. And that's everything from myself. I've just left some contact information on the screen for anyone who has any questions. In particular, they can contact one of our global enrollment advisors via the email addresses there. And we also have our website as well. So for anyone who's interested in finding out more information about the American University in Switzerland, we have a really easy to navigate website, and a website that you can find all the information on. You can inquire about more information for our programs, for our scholarships, for our admission process, and we encourage you to visit our site and to find out more information for us. And hopefully we can welcome some of you to our on-campus programs at some point, or we can welcome you to our online community as well. And so we really hope to hear from you and maybe receive some of your applications. I appreciate your time, and if there's any questions, I'm happy to take any.
I would like to thank you so much for your time today.
No problem. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.